What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is John. Today I have for you a convenience good. That's right, today we're going to be doing a quick comparison. Well, actually it's going to be more of an in-depth review, but we're going to make it as quick as possible. Between the Taotronics Sound Liberty 53 I picked up using Amazon Prime for about $40 and the Apple AirPods Pro I picked up on Apple's retail website for around $250. For today's review, we're going to be testing out microphone quality. I'm actually going to make a quick little vlog video with each earbud demonstrating how good the microphone is on each. Then we're going to compare the music bleed out level. I've actually got my decibel meter in front of me today. We're going to listen to music at the highest volume on each earbud and see how much music they bleed out. This is really important if you're someone who's concerned about other people listening to what you're listening to. Say if you're sitting on a train or a plane or a bus or in a car and you're listening to your music, or you're on the phone with somebody and you've got the volume turned all the way up. You know, if you're concerned about someone else hearing what you're listening to, this test will sort of rectify that and make that sort of clear. And last but not least, I've actually listened to each earbud, jazz, hip hop, and rock, and took some notes on how they sounded in each genre using the flat EQ setting. And we're going to be reviewing those notes at the end of the video to give you an accurate sound comparison. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So I've got the Taotronics Sound Liberty 53 right in front of me, and I have the Apple AirPods Pro. Just as a quick side note, I have had some issues with the AirPods Pro. There is a rattling noise in the left earbud. I did drop them a couple of times, so that won't have an effect on audio quality. It really is a problem with the casing. Without further ado, let's go ahead and see what kind of sound the Taotronics Sound Liberty 53 emit. So what I'll do is I'm not going to put them in my ear. I'm actually just going to lay them out on the table here, and they should just connect to my iPhone right away. So I'll bring in the handy dandy iPhone here. And yeah, oh, you know what? Actually, let's go ahead and set the decibel meter this way so that we can get an accurate recording of the voice level. So as you can see, I've got the earbuds right in front of the decibel meter there. Bass frequency of your surroundings is like 35 decibels. As I'm talking to you over the microphone, the decibel meter is jumping up to about 80 decibels. I don't expect these earbuds to get that loud. I expect them to get to about 45, 50 decibels. Let's go ahead and see how loud they get. Okay, so I'm actually getting some different readings. Usually when I have the earbuds in my ear and I'm listening to them at their max volume, I get about 55 decibels. I emit about 55 decibels. But when I actually have them on the table in front of me and like as close to the microphone of the decibel meter as possible, I'm getting a readout of about 80 to 82 decibels, which is much, much louder. Again, I am listening to these at the highest volume, but I think you should also keep in mind that when they're in your ear, they're not going to be as loud. Let's go ahead and see how much sound the Apple AirPods Pro emit. We'll go ahead and set the earbuds to Boss's AirPods Pro, and we'll go ahead and hit play. Okay, so the loudest that I'm getting up to the AirPods Pro is 85 decibels. So a couple of decibels greater than the Taotronics Sound Liberty 53, which is really interesting because the Taotronics Sound Liberty 53 sound louder in ear. Not quite sure what that's all about, but anyways, that just is the gist of it. So now that we have seen how much sound these emit, they basically emit up to the same amount of sound, up to about 80 decibels or so, between 80 and 85 decibels. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the notes that I've taken listening to each genre of music. Again, I've listened to hip hop, rap, jazz, and rock and roll. So a total of 3 genres, starting with the Sound Liberty 53. So When I listened to some hip hop, I noticed that the bass was level, it's flat, it's even and not overwhelming. The treble is loud and clear. The vocals and instruments are a little scratchy, but overall pretty clear. Overall, I enjoy listening to the Sound Liberty 53 over the AirPods Pro from time to time. As with jazz, the bass is pronounced, more so than hip hop or rap, but still not overpowering. Again, this is listening to jazz. I was listening to a little bit of Boney James, not quite Miles Davis, but jazz nonetheless. And last but not least, with the Taotronics Sound Liberty 53, I listened to a little bit of the Rolling Stones. That will cover our rock genre. What I noticed was that the snare hits well, the vocals are a little tinny, a little loud, definitely overcompensating for something. In previous reviews, I've stated these earbuds are loud, but overall good stereo sound and not quite as harmonious as I'd like. You can definitely make out that the vocals are playing through one earbud and instruments in the other, and overall that the music was pretty well composed. Okay, so now to make this a more accurate comparison, let's talk about some of my impressions that I had with the Apple AirPods Pro listening to each genre using a flat EQ setting. When I listened to hip hop, I thought that the vocals were clear, balanced, not overly loud. The bass is balanced as well. Vocals sound like they're making their way through both earbuds. Bass sounds like it's in both ears. Overall, great surround sound. It sounds like the music is coming from the center and moving outward instead of from the left and right moving inward. When I listened to some jazz, I thought the bass wasn't as pronounced as on the Sound Liberty 53. In fact, the bass on the Sound Liberty 53 tended to cover up the saxophone a tad. On the AirPods Pro, saxophone is loud and clear, drums hit evenly and solidly. Overall, very soothing listening experience. Music seems louder and less muffled overall. And last but not least, let's gather some of my impressions on the Rolling Stones, some rock and roll. Drums hit loud, vocals are loud and clear. In fact, I have to turn the volume down in this circumstance. Again, the music sounds like it's coming from the center and making its way outward, which I prefer. The Sound Liberty 53 are the more balanced earbud in this circumstance, I would argue, but still sound a little muffled and not as clear. This could be down to the audio technology and the driver technology on the inside. Also, with the Sound Liberty 53, guitar riffs are a little louder in one ear and not so in the other. Kind of unbalanced compared to the AirPods Pro. Okay, so one major takeaway here is that the Sound Liberty 53 are noise isolating and the AirPods Pro are noise canceling. Now, I could have turned off the noise canceling feature and just listened to them regularly, but that would have been transparency mode, and transparency mode uses an outward microphone to pipe sounds in from the outside to make your surroundings clearer. That would have interfered with the music, I thought, so I didn't go ahead and do that. Also, keep in mind that throughout this comparison, my AirPods were a little bit broken. There's this rattling in the left earbud. They're a little bit less enjoyable to listen to because of that. And last but not least, I figured we would do a microphone test between each earbud. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. And last but not least, using the Taotronics Sound Liberty 53, I figured I would also do a microphone test. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. So everybody, that has been a quick in-depth review between the Taotronics Sound Liberty 53 versus the Apple AirPods Pro. The Apple AirPods Pro retail for $250. The Taotronics Sound Liberty 53 retail for $50. There are some drastic differences between the two in terms of style, obviously, brand, sound, and functionality. The Sound Liberty 53 do not have active noise cancellation or transparency mode. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick little in-depth review between the Taotronics Sound Liberty 53 and the Apple AirPods Pro. My name is John. Thank you so much for tuning in. Because I picked each product up online, that makes them a convenience good. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is John. I will see you in the next one.